How you doing? This is the Man United agenda, and Riven is a dancer. We've got Elanga. It's 1-1, big Champions League game, and Man United are taking it home. Oh, yes, people. Yes, this is the Man United agenda. And wow, this is what it's all about. High-tech football, high-level football, and we're in it. We're in it to win it. What a result. 1-1 the end. I'm buzzing right now. I need to calm myself down to do this show. And I've got the man, just a man with me to calm me down. And that's Rebel. You're going to bring me back down to earth, or maybe not. How are you, Rebel? How are you feeling?
Well, if I was Kurt Zuma's cat, I'd feel like I'd used 8 of my 9 lives at this point, because frankly, we were fortunate. And I'm just going to hit you out of the gate with the match stats. And
good. Yeah, great idea. Let's do this. Match stats.
Atletico de Madrid, 38% possession, United 62%. Goal attempts, 13 Atletico, 9 United. Shots on goal, 1 Atletico, 2 United. Shots off goal, 9 Atletico, 3 United. Free kicks, 17-22. Corners, 8-3. Keeper saves, 1 for Atletico, none for Manchester United. Fouls, 19-16. 4 yellow cards to 5. And then basically 124-89 attacks. But would you believe that the Elanga goal, I believe, was Manchester United's first shot on target in the entire game? Now, you could say Atletico converted with their only shot on target after roughly 7 minutes, but we'll obviously break down the game as the stream goes on. But fortune favours.
The stats don't really tell the whole story, I believe. I mean, having 38% possession at home for Atletico Madrid, I would expect it to be the opposite way. But I think because they scored first, they switched into their mode where they can actually contain teams. And they've done a good job up until Elanga coming on. Anyway, I'm buzzing. How's everyone out there, man? I see Mark Edmund. I see Pat Lawless, me, Mike, Andy Herbert. Yes, TalkMU in the house. Let's go, guys. Let's go, because I'm really happy about this result. And it looks good. So before we go into how we set up, because there's a few question marks we have to ask, whys and wheres and all that kind of thing. Let's talk about the goal. After 7 minutes, we conceded. And the Atletico Madrid fans went crazy. This was a great goal. I must admit, it was a second phase. They had a free kick, went in. We pushed out to try and push our line out. And they whipped in another ball in after Fred's kind of slipped. The left back, or left wing back, who was almost a left winger today, he got the ball head up and whipped in a lovely ball. And Harry Maguire got blindsided. Felix, great little player, he got inside and scored a sort of goal like Van Persie in the World Cup when he done that diving header. I think Harry Maguire thought it's too high, too far ahead of him. There's no way he's going to get contact on that. But wow, he steered that ball from going one way to straighten it up. And I just thought that goal was fantastic. Any mistakes to be, any pointing fingers? Are we pointing fingers here, Rebel? Because I know we talked during the game. You were pointing fingers. I want you to let us have it. What do you think about the goal? Where are the mistakes made, if any?
Look, I suppose you have to ask questions out the field before the ball was whipped in. Who was closing down? Who was watching the space, etc., etc.? Why had he so much time to get the pinpointed ball into the box? But then you have to take a look at our captain, the £75 million plus defender, and his reaction speed. At the very least, I'd have expected him to make it difficult for Joey Felix. Essentially, Felix had a free header. His reaction speed just isn't up to where it needed to be. And regardless of whether a goal was conceded afterwards, I'd have expected at least it being made difficult for him. And Harry Maguire, when he looks back on that, will be saying, I effed up.
Okay. Rebel, I accept your point. I mean, we can really break it down. But I also think he was, as the Lion, they were trying to get out. So you're going one way, and he spun off to Felix and gone the other way, and got in front of Maguire. And Maguire's looking at the ball. You could say he needed a bit of communication, maybe from his teammate. I think it was Shaw next to him. Could have said to him, man on, man come in, or whatever. But it was just too late. And I just think when it's like that, I understand what you say. Maybe make it look difficult for him, but as you know, it's this sort of high level game. They were getting touched and going down for anything, so you have to be really careful. I thought it was a great goal from that to score from that angle when the ball's up there in the air and to score the header. I think that was a great finish and a great bit of movement, world-class movement by Felix, world-class finishing as well. Yeah, I will say Harry Maguire could have done something better, and he needs to look back at that and say, yeah, maybe I should have done something better in that position, you know. But I forgive him, and I'm not going to sort of jump on the bandwagon and say, that was all Harry's fault and everything else, because it's so easy to do that. Even the commentators are starting to get involved in that sort of thing. Let's give us some time. When we calm down, we're going to look at that again in more detail and just really, you know, be a bit fairer about it. I don't think it was all Harry, but I do accept that he could have done something a little bit more to make it difficult for him. But what a finish, what a great run off the ball, great movement off the ball and everything else from Atletico Madrid. And yeah, they scored. And I don't know what you guys in the comments think about that. Are we pointing fingers here, or are we accepting that was a great move and a great goal? And you know, what do you guys think in the comments? Because that I'm 50-50 with it. I think we need more time to analyze it.
I think we do have a few comments there, and I think we just hit them because it is a kind of the hot topic. Pat Lawless says, totally agree. It was 4-1 for the header for the first goal. Second one is from Mark Edmond. Maguire's captain banana skin. He puts pressure on the team and unsettles the entire side. TalkMU is talking about Marcus Rashford, so we'll move on from that one for the time being. Anthony Herbert is also talking about the Elanga Rashford thing, so we'll come back to that. Richard Herbert says, taking nothing away from Atletico Madrid, I think we need to stop these balls getting into the box. Fullbacks, wingbacks need to be stronger, and Maguire should address that as a CB and captain. Is what he is saying.
I think the boys are being really fair there with the comments. Hi, Richard Herbert, by the way. How you doing, man? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. I haven't seen you before.
And then the last one is Captain Banana Skin headed it out, and he didn't need to right from the start. He was shaking like a dog.
Great experience, though. Great experience to play in big games like that. I think a lot of guys they were a bit rattled up, to be honest, scoring early. We could have conceded more, but I thought we got our SHIT together and contain them after that. They didn't really, well, obviously they didn't score after that, but I think we contained them, and we, even though we had to get the first half over and done with, get into the second half, we came back better. We really did try and show a bit of character. But anyway, so that's the first goal, 7 minutes in. Our heads are down, the crowd are up. I mean, it's amazing. The atmosphere is amazing. I love these nights. Let's talk about Simeone here, because I think Simeone, because he plays usually a 4 at the back. They were talking about, there's whispers about him doing training sessions and playing 3, and he certainly did that. So with the 3 that he plays, he has 3 big, like, good centre backs, and they're really quite compact and tucked in. Then these wide guys are sort of like wingers. I mean, Lodi, it really looks like a good player going forward. You know, he goes and goes. He was a bit of a threat to us. But what I think they did, they studied the Wolves game, because Wolves really. Do you remember when we played Wolves a few weeks ago? We lost. I think Wolves were doing the same thing, the same system, and it really hurt us. And we struggled to get out. We struggled to control the game against Wolves with this sort of 3-5-2. And with our wide men, which are quite important to us, they were forced back. And that's what happened again against Atletico, especially in the first half. They really forced us back and had the momentum and that sort of thing. So I think Diego Simeone, he knows what to do. He's a very tactical coach, in my opinion, and to change it like that, and it worked for them. It looked like he was like a genius at half time, you know. And like I say, by doing that and stopping our play, this is another issue that's been highlighted. A set piece to me is a goal kick for us, and we need to work on that. I think De Gea and having Fred as a number 6 who's not composed on the ball, that kind of thing, it's hard to play out. And time after time, we could struggle to get 3-4 passes together. They were on us, because their 3 midfielders are not, they're very compact as well, and they don't give any time or space. So when we're trying to play out, they were on you. I mean, Pogba had his French teammate on him all game. He was big and strong and really put it on him. And I think, they played really well with their setup. They were difficult to play against, you know. So Rebel's just gone for a minute. Oh, he's back. Rebel, I hope you heard all that. So what do you think about Diego Simeone with the 3-5-2 up against our 4-3-3, and how difficult it was for us in the first half?
Yeah, I did hear all of it. I do have a loose wire, so I'm still there. It's just that I mightn't appear on the screen.
You talking about your internet or your brain?
No, it's just literally a loose wire where my headset is. So,
Okay. Right.
But basically, in regards to Simeone, now if you looked at the pre-match lineup, it did look like he was actually going to proceed with his normal 4-4-2, and while he got a lot tactically right, I would actually wager the question, and it is going to be part of our next point, is the naming of the person that we put at right back. Could that have assisted? Because it would have identified that there mightn't have been as much going forward on that right flank as there would be on the left, and therefore it made it easier to deploy the resources that he had on his defensive side of the pitch, because he figured, well, Lindelof is probably not going to come past X line at any particular period. So there's only Sancho on his own on that right-hand side. And if he drops deep, then we know that we've already got the eye line that it's going to be coming up that way. So I think it might have simplified the way that they got structure, and the Atletico team leaders would have been able to kind of dictate the movement of their players in order to basically set how they needed to react. So if Sancho did come deep for the ball to attack the right wing, they had a bit of time because they didn't fear an overlap.
So, do you think they got a whisper that we might have been playing a Lindelof at right back? I didn't know until like minutes before the game. I didn't. Well, obviously, it comes out an hour before the game. So, do you think that was detrimental to us? What are the pros and cons of playing him there? Because I thought going through the game, I thought, right, at least we're solid. At least, obviously, he gets the ball. He can't really get it out his feet and drive and overlap. We're not expecting him to do that. But as regarding being compact, which in hindsight, we only conceded one goal. And I'm not saying it's because of Lindelof, but he's a good centre back. He's big and strong, and I think when they're raiding like that, I think it is a good. You know, they will turn. He turns people away, because if we're camped and they're saying play through us, they look up. They think, right, I'm going to drive at Lindelof. Maybe not. Let me turn back. That sort of thing. Dalot in that sort of situation, he could have been targeted right there. Might not have had the experience. Same with Wan-Bissaka, might not have had the experience. It could be targeted. So I think in hindsight, I'm not too vexed with Ralph about the decision. And I want to talk about, because that was one of our talking points about the decision to play Lindelof there. I'll just give you a few pros and cons from my opinion. I think the pros, as I was saying now, I think he's solid. He fits in well. When it comes, when we played against Wolves, what they were doing, whipping in, getting the wing backs, whipping crosses, pressure. And I think as a centre back clearing the ball, being positioned well, tucking in, it sort of gives us a bit more compactness. Obviously, the negative to that is we can't really get forward. As you said brilliantly about Sancho, he'd probably be isolated and didn't have someone to overlap with. Sancho likes to play off a man, and he's looking for Lindelof, and Lindelof probably didn't want to expose himself and get up and down like that. So it's all about balance there. And obviously, he changed it in the second half, and we brought in Wan-Bissaka. So I don't know what you guys think in the comments about the decision to play him. Was it negative? Does it turn out to be a positive? Because Lindelof played until 65 minutes or so, and we didn't concede another goal after that. So it's a good talking point. Rebel.
Where I'm going to come in on that is the sense of playing Lindelof isn't exactly where I think the problem was. It obviously made concrete sense defensively that he backed up Varane and Maguire. We also know that Shaw's no stranger to being the third man in a back three for England at times. He's done that job. He knows how to play that job. So it was clear that the back four was set up to be a defensive wall, a shield in front of De Gea. But would it have made more sense to literally play a back three and have possibly Wan-Bissaka outside at the risk of maybe sacrificing one of Bruno or Pogba in order to give that defense? Because while I do see the benefit of Lindelof, I also think it might have affected the way that we build up our play, because what they expected to see out on that right-hand backside was not what they'd even get from Wan-Bissaka, who, as limited as he is going forward, would have still pushed forward. Whereas Lindelof is a centre-back that was playing at right-back.
Yeah. look, it's in hindsight now, we've got a great result. It's a great result, as some of the guys are saying in the comments here. Big up Richard Herbert. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to us, man, because we love a United fan who's on it, and you seem to be talking a lot of sense there. So yeah, I'm happy with the result now. We can go back and review the game and discuss it. But yeah, Lindelof, he's had some really good performances. Shows a lot of faith that his experience at nights like this is experience that really counts. And even if you're playing at right back, I think we did contain them after they scored their first goal. And obviously the goal was in open play, clearly. But I still think, because of the brilliance of certain Felix, the movement off the ball and everything else, I still think we did prevent them after that from having any real... They didn't cut us up, you know what I mean? Slice and dice us. I didn't feel they did that to us afterwards. Maybe because of the mentality, it's like we've scored, now let's control. But yeah, I'm quite happy. Can I just move on now? We're going to go on to the next point. Is about we've said this for a long time now about De Gea as a goalkeeper. Obviously, it's his homecoming, isn't it? Today he's come home to Atletico Madrid, and I thought he didn't really have too many saves to make. But what really impressed me, and this is kind of like I'm saying this in jest, in a way, he came off his line, even though it was offside, it was a foul or something. Varane tried to play the ball back, he got a bump, and the ball didn't really go with any pace. But I was thinking, oh God, they're in, because I always say De Gea stays on his goal line. But who came out and cleared the ball like a sweeper keeper should? It was De Gea. And it's the first time I could say I've seen that. And I have to give him credit. So De Gea, well done, because I always think he's staying at your goal line and kill us in that respect. But he came off his line and cleared up, even though they've been called up for, they flagged that. What do you think about De Gea coming off his line like that? I know it's a joke.
You know, it's an interesting topic, actually, and it's one that I was actually quite prevalent over in TikTok in the football side of it during the week after the Manchester City versus Tottenham game. And the play that was highlighted was Ederson came off his line, and what the reading of that on a consistent basis is if you're not reading the line properly, you're giving opportunities for the likes of a Son to pass around you. So they're saying that even though De Gea does not come off his line as much as the modern day keepers that are at, say, your Liverpools and Cities, he might be reading the times to come off the line better, because Ederson, they gave as one example this season that he had coughed up an easy chance for the ball to be passed around him because he did not wait to see the play develop long enough, and it gave the easy pass for the attacking player.
Yeah, interesting. That I think is also as well, as we found in the first half, when we're trying to, like the set piece I keep talking about, which is our goal kick, like the rules change. You can have centre backs sitting in the 6-yard box and receiving the ball there. So there's so many different variants you can use for our goal kicks, which is a set piece, and we're still struggling with that because we couldn't play it out. There's major factors there, and I think one of them is De Gea. His kicking is not that great, and he's a bit shook and rattled. The second bit is the deepest man, our anchor man. Unless it's Matic, I'm not comfortable with McTominay or Fred coming deep and getting the ball, because they're going to get clapped and give up the ball in those sort of areas. So we need to improve in that sense, because we really struggled to get out and we couldn't get any control in the game based on that, you know. We were a bit isolated. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I'd like to add one other point to it. We do see it with Varane and Lindelof, and Maguire needs to develop this part of his game a bit more as well, is reading a forward pass. I think there's a number of times that we saw lateral or flat passes or back passes from Maguire that essentially allowed Atletico to press us a bit more. And I think he needs to start being more aware of the pawns in front of him as well as beside him.
Yeah, certainly. So we got to half time, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, pew, as he say, you know, because we needed to that break. We needed to sit down and talk about how we're going to get back into the game. As I said, we couldn't play out. We couldn't string any passes together, and it looked like they were just dominated, even though they were sitting back. We couldn't get anything on them. What do you think Ralph said at half time? And what were you thinking that any changes should have been made there and then? Lindelof, for example.
I'm just trying to remember, did we have any bookings coming into the first half?
Because no, I think No, they got booked in the first half. Herrera, he had 3. Remember, the ref said 3. That's the third one.
That's right.
He clipped Pogba when Pogba was driving through.
Well,
and then later, I think Shaw got one after that. That Shaw was the next person after that to get booked.
It's going to be an unpopular one, actually. I probably felt that Rashi should have came off maybe earlier than he did.
Do you want to talk why? Explain why you think Rashford should have come off? I do agree with you.
Again, looking at the left-hand side being our more opportune side for overlaps, Rashford probably should have been doing more to give thought to the Atletico defence that there's a threat out here on the left. We need to be marking it, which possibly might have created more space then for a switched ball to the right-hand side. But I didn't feel that there was enough going on from Rashford's attacking play to justify him remaining out on the pitch. Now, he had moments, and he is playing through, I suppose, a period where he hasn't exactly always been consistently on top of his game. He's given us a few goals, but he's not exactly hitting the spokes on all games. And I felt today was one of those games where hooking him at halftime would not have been an unfair call. Now, that being said, we did not do any further damage to our chances early in the second half. But what I did feel concerned about is we started to lose a bit of discipline. The yellow cards started creeping up. There was, whether some of them were harsh enough, that's debatable, but you saw one wing back getting booked, a second wing back getting booked, a central midfielder getting booked, and it slowly started adding up. And then the consequence of that then was obviously Ralph's triple sub because obviously the Champions League, you do have more than 3 subs. You have the full complement of 5, I believe, in the Champions League. He took off both his wing backs and he took off Fred. And basically, they were like for like subs.
He took off
Pogba, sorry, my apologies. He took off Pogba. Fred then slipped into Pogba's role and he kind of played on from there. So he kept the same tactics and was hoping to chip away, and the game didn't get away from us. Now, they did hit Woodwork twice during the course of the game. That cannot be forgotten. With a bit of luck on another day, that could have dipped in and we could have been singing a different tune, but it didn't. Then he'd made the brave move. I got a young man that he's put intense faith in since he's arrived. The first thing he done pretty much was call Elanga into his first team training squad. And there was little bits of training. Then he was introduced to the bench. And now you're starting to see he's the guy that Ralph is going to in order to change matters in games. He's starting him at times. And when he's on the bench, invariably now we're seeing that he is being called from the bench to effect change in those games that he doesn't start. And there possibly is a case at this stage that when fit and when not needing a rest, that he should probably be the name to go down opposite Sancho to occupy the 2 wing spots at this point.
Okay, brilliant. Just want to add, so we're talking about Rashford here and Elanga. There's a lot of differences there. I think Rashford, Pat Lawless, big up man. He's made a great comment here. Said Ralph made a very good comment. So Ralph's obviously spoken after the game about Elanga. He said how much of a free spirit he is. Young, youthful, doing his thing, and how much he's enjoying his football. I mean, he's making runs, he's a threat. And he says, well, this is Pat, coming from Pat, not Ralph. He says, I wish Rashford could find that mindset again. He looks like he's annoyed at himself. Yes, I totally agree. I think, just to add to what you were saying, Rebel, just now, Rashford, you were talking about him, maybe you could have been dragged him off at half time. Rashford's decision-making. A couple of times his decision-making was poor, shooting from stupid places, not passing the ball off, looking to, cut inside and shoot all the time. Not really offering us much, I don't think. But I do believe Elanga, that what Ralph said there, he is a free spirit. His movement off the ball, he's strong running. People haven't got data on him as yet to know what his strengths are, that kind of thing, opposition team. So to bring him on and suddenly, you don't know what sort of runs he's making. He's making positive runs like he did with the goal, which we're going to come on to in a minute. But yeah, I agree with what Pat's saying here. There's a big difference in confidence at the moment. Rashford, when he first came on the scene, he was young, carefree, that kind of thing, and just a breath of fresh air. And I think the same applies for Elanga. Guys, it's Elanga. Rhythm is a dancer. Yeah, man. I'm loving this. Loving that. Everybody, tell me what you're doing when you saw that goal go in, because I was like, all that pressure just came out of me. I was overjoyed. And let's talk about the goal in a sec.
Can I just cut in before you move on to the goal? So it's not
excited.
So it's not a Rashford bashing contest on its own. A certain Bruno Fernandes also was shooting from stupid places at times, and you would question some of the decisions that he made in his distribution of the ball. So he wasn't on his own, but you could still see that Bruno was trying to affect an attacking platform for Manchester United. So despite the fact that he may have lost the ball, it was probably because when he was looking up, he wasn't seeing outlets in order to do anything with it. So he said, okay, I'll do it myself. And just to finish with the negativity before we finish on that wonderfully positive goal, I thought Ronaldo didn't offer us a whole pile tonight. Obviously, he was a threat that Atletico had to watch for the entire 90 minutes because, as me being Irish knows all too well, he might do nothing for 89.99% of the game, but you give him 2 balls, and all of a sudden, you're losing 2-1 in the European qualification, and you're going home with your tail between your legs. So we do know that he can be extremely dangerous without doing anything for large portions of the game, but you have to start to think, how are we not utilizing him more? Is it...
Look, hold on, Rebel, man. Come on. The guy, he's got 3 centre-backs. He's occupying all 3. They know him. They're used to him. They know who this guy is. They've played against him several times. So I feel that he's occupying them. We might not be in the game. He started coming deep in the first half to try and get hold of the ball and turn and build. This is a tactical battle. You have 5-minute spells. You have 20-minute spell. It's a really deep tactical game. So to say he's not giving us enough, we got to feed him. We're playing away from home. We can write off the first half because we didn't even create anything. You said we scored our first chance. It's a tactical battle. It's a big mind game out there. And I heard SHAH in the comments say that we were schooled, or Ralph was schooled by Diego Simeone. I totally disagree. I think Ralph had to amend it and come back, and he made the changes early in 65 minutes, exactly the same what he did against Leeds the other day. 65 minutes. It's earlier now that we're making changes. Ollie might not have done that. Ollie, remember we were complaining, 80th minute, someone's coming on, it was too late. The Villarreal game in the cup final last year, too late with the subs, that kind of thing. So I think he's not afraid. He made 3 bold changes and sort of brought on fresher legs. And while we had a bit of momentum, because we did sort of change our attitude in the second half. So let's talk about that goal, because
quickly,
talk you through it.
Before you go, some breaking news. Richard Herbert is actually the brother of Arsenal fan Anthony Herbert.
Wow. Well, blow me down, Mr. Herbert. I did think that, but I thought, no, it can't be. Richard, how you doing, man? We love your brother. Your brother's a top bloke, and even though he supports Arsenal, but he's always a regular on the show. So yeah, big up, Richard. Hope you're doing well, man. And you're probably from Bristol as well. Yeah, but yeah, thanks for coming on the show. Shall we talk about the goal?
Let's do it. Let's get into it.
Let's go. All right. At this stage, the goal came when? 70th, was it the 70th minute or 6?
It was the 79th, 80th minute, depending on the clock.
Okay, so Fred, at this point, this is what I just want to talk about this because it's really important. Fred playing as a 6 anchor man, picking up the ball of defense, not very good at this level. This is top level, not very good. Reasons why: it gives the ball away, too weak. He's not a playmaker. His passing distribution is poor, and he's got no composure. The opposite can be said of Matic. Matic, thank you for coming on the pitch, giving us a bit more composure on the ball. You can't rush him. He sits back in the free. He plays it naturally, that kind of position. This gave opportunity for Fred and Bruno to sort of go a bit further forward. Fred's a good runner. Obviously, he's going to make those other long runs and push on and close people down. But a couple of times I was getting like frustrated with Fred because he was closing down too much, not wisely, and he was getting triangled, lost in the Bermuda Triangle, and then he's out of position, that sort of thing. But it turned out okay. So obviously we were in our own half. We had Fred passed it to Bruno. Bruno had time to turn out and look ahead of him. David's trying to squeeze up the pitch a little bit. and then suddenly we had movement up front. Elanga made a run. And this is what we weren't getting from maybe Rashford. He made a positive run between the two centre-backs. The centre-back had to go over him. That sort of, so the centre-back couldn't close the gap or compress the play. He had to go over Elanga because thinking, right, I've got to go with this guy. And maybe there's some other movement that spread it out. Bruno's got his head up. I thought the ball that Bruno played, even though it turned out to be good, I didn't think we had enough pop in it. I thought we were playing on that Leeds pitch, which was waterlogged. It seemed to slow up. And I thought the defender was going to cut it out. I was almost like that. And obviously, the defender almost slipped or just missed getting the ball. Langa goes through. Keeper was sort of on his feet, and maybe he got done a bit because he didn't anticipate it. And Langa rolled it in, and oh my God, what a massive, massive goal! And salute to you, Elanga. Since you come, you're refreshing. With all the bad luck we've had, you know, so you coming through this season, scoring massive goals like that, you should be skin and teeth right now. You know, talk to me, Rebel. What do you think about the goal and what the impact of that?
Well, I suppose let's build up to before the game. There was a report over the match commentary right after he scored his goal that the commentators had met many of the Manchester United fans that were coming down to the stadium. And what song were they singing? They were singing Whoa, it's Elanga. Because they have taken to the boy as the young man that is going to wear our next young star from our academy. And we're starting to see the reasons why the manager is taking a liking to Elanga, because if you slow that down, blurred out his face, and you said, okay, OMONDI, I want you to watch this bit of footage, and you saw the ball rolling through, all you were seeing was a pixelated figure making the movement, and then also being aware of the goalkeeper coming out, taking the time to place his shot, you would have said that was probably Harry Kane.
Yeah.
That it was a man with experience and years on the playing pitch that knew every sort of movement that was required in order to finish. But he's not a man of Harry Kane's age. He's far, far younger, and his reading of the game at the moment is absolutely paramount to why he took that ball in the back of the Atletico net.
Just to add, Pat Lawler says here, the jump from Elanga to let the ball run on. I mean, oh my gosh, he said, my gosh, I like to, I'm going to do this as passionate as I can. My God, you know, this is massive. As you were saying, at his age, he's showing a lot of experience that, beyond his age. The boy has talent, he says Pat Lawless, and an old head on his shoulders to do that. Wow.
Actually, I'm going to use a word from Gunnar King in the Army TV. Lord have mercy.
Wow. Yeah, massive goal. A few guys here saying they jumped off their seat. It's so impactful to come away from Madrid. That is a good result. Forget the away goals thing; it doesn't count anymore. But we're on the up. Imagine what the fans are like coming out of that stadium right now. They must have, the trips was well worth their while, you know, going out there to Spain and getting a result like that. Definitely.
OMONDI, you've broken down exactly where I was going to give my summary. Even though I don't think we had the best of games, we did have opportunities at the end, maybe to be walking away with a goal in our pocket going into Old Trafford. But it is now a one-off 90-minute game at Old Trafford, winner takes all. The first game, it might, for all intents and purposes, it may as well not have happened now, because it's a 1-1 game. The away goals don't matter. So it's one-off, knockout football at Old Trafford in our backyard. And all we have to do is tip Simeone over and send his boys packing.
Let's just look at that. It's 3 weeks' time, isn't it? That game. In between, we've got Watford. Then we start having these big games: Man City, Spurs, all these big games. So every game from now on is going to be massive for us at the Man United and Man United agenda as well. So all you guys watching on, I mean, I hope you just join us, man, because it's going to be one hell of a ride for the next few weeks. Oh God, I'm so excited. Set up well. It's teed up nicely.
3 o'clock, 26th of February, Manchester United versus Watford. 4:30, March the 6th, Manchester City versus Manchester United. The 12th of March, Manchester United versus Tottenham at 5:30.
Come on.
The 15th of March, Manchester United versus Atletico Madrid to progress in the Champions League at 8 p.m. And then, what a way to round off March. March Madness is in full effect. We get to take on Clippity Claps Liverpool at Anfield at 4:30 on the 20th. March.
Hey, it's payback! Payback! You know, they made us, we had a road trip all the way to Old Trafford this season, you know, thinking about, big Liverpool game. And we were crushed. It's going to be payback. It's got to be payback. Come on, guys. Sorry, Rebel. Let's go, because it's coming. Revenge in the air. Come on, let's go. What's after that? Liverpool, and then we got Atletico Madrid after that?
No, we've Atletico played. The March fixture list is City, Spurs, Atleti, Liverpool.
Okay, wow. Just want to go back to Pat Lawless because picture this. We're watching the game. He's at home and he said, "Well, someone come and paint his ceiling," because he's had his dinner. He had his dinner on his tray. I bet watching the game. He chucked his dinner in the air and it's still stuck to the ceiling after that goal. This is what we want to hear. I want to hear great stories like that, guys, because it means so much. I want to say hello to Alexandro, all the way from Puerto Rico. He said we should feel good about the game. Atletico are a hard team. This is a hard tournament. This is the elite tournament. Big boys competition. Ralph is showing the board who needs to play up front. Wow. Here we go. Suze, how you doing, Suze? Elanga, class. Got them on a counter, but awful performance. Didn't like the team selection. Yeah, we went through that earlier. You're late, Sue. If you go back and watch earlier, we did discuss that and the pros and cons for it. Again, Sue said, shoehorning Maguire into his team with his awful back five is going to cost us, she says. Big up from UK Strains. And how you doing, man? He said, guys, I missed most of the show. Then what you do is go back and rewatch it because it's really, we made some really good points today. He said, but we have spoken of the negatives. We must not let this go by without being spoken of. Yeah, we did. Bruno, he said, was poor. I disagree. Like I said, 16 times he lost the ball. I think he's the one who can create and progress the ball. So I don't mind him losing the ball there. If Fred gives the ball away in his position, when we've got players, and once he loses the ball or one of our defenders loses the ball, then they're on a goal. So I think I trust Bruno with the ball. Sue says, great show. Yeah, big up. So it just tees it up nicely. Like you just said with the fixture list there, Rebel, it's going to be one hell of a run. We've got 6 weeks now of just game after game after game. And I'm just loving it. I'm really lifted. My spirit is good. I feel good about the next 6 weeks. I feel good about Ralph. I feel good about the harmony within the side at the moment. This result turns it around. Look at this elite level. We have to be honest. We're not going to dominate most games. It's all about character. Other factors come into it. When you're at this level, like character, like harmony, like togetherness, like like drills and that kind of thing. Look at the elation that we have. Look at as fans. We know that was a great result because people are intelligent. We know that this is a tactical, high-tech, high-level sort of competition we're playing in. So we're giving it this chance now. Go take them to Old Trafford. Come on.
To finish up, I have just picked up an article that has given some player ratings. I'm going to hit them as they're written here. I'm going to go through the whole shooting match, and then maybe the people in the comments will let us know whether they agree or disagree as we progress through it. So they're saying David De Gea had little to do against his former employers and cannot be blamed for the goal. Nothing could have done about Felix's excellent thumping header. They gave him a 6. Victor Lindelof, inexplicably picked at the start at right back and got torn a new one against the impressive Lodi. Atletico were at their most menacing down his side, and it is no surprise to see him hooked with a yellow. He got a 4. Rafael Varane.
No, wait. I don't agree. It gives a 5 or 6 for me. I mean, come on, the man's played out of position and doing a job for the side, and we've only conceded 1 goal. Come on, about ripped. Come on, people are getting to overreact sometimes. I don't agree with that. I don't know what you guys think, but I don't agree with that one.
Rafael Varane looked strangely nervous and ill at ease for a man of his experience and 4 Champions League medals in his back pocket. Improved in second half, but you expect better from a player of his calibre. They gave him a 5. Harry Maguire did little wrong bar his sloppiness in possession, but he certainly wasn't alone there. And they're actually saying there was nothing he could have done for Atleti's opener and he improved after half-time. Even though we were saying that maybe his reactions were a bit slow and he should have put a bit of pressure on the header, they gave him a 6. Luke Shaw got little joy and struggled to make an impact, picked up a booking, and it's a surprise he remains first choice. I think there's been a few in the comments that have been singing Tellez's praises, and at this stage, I'm inclined to agree with them. They gave him a 5. Soldiers boy, Mr. Fred. Swamped and overran by Atleti's midfield, and the string pulling duo of Herrera and Joffrey Konogagba, and I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of that, spent the whole time fighting a losing battle, got booked, and very much missed the absent Scott McSauce. He got a 4.
Pause. Fred, I agree with that analysis. He did get swamped. He did get eaten up, munched, as I say. He did. But this highlights again, he cannot play the anchorman position because these issues will always occur no matter who you're playing against, let alone an elite competition against Atletico Madrid. Great analysis there. I agree with him.
Mark, this is just from one of the many tabloids that have done a score rating. I just picked up one at random. Paul Pogba. The Frenchman has been impressive since his return from injury, but was upstaged by his friend and compatriot Kondogbia, who seemed attracted to the ball like a magnet. No surprise he was taken off. He got a 3.
Bruno got 3.
A 3 they gave him.
I mean, come on, man. Come on. This is what I'm saying about the thing. 3? What does 3 mean in relation? That means like 5 is average. If you're talking about 3, that means SHIT almost, doesn't it? I disagree. I don't think it's SHIT. I think it was average on the ball, trying to do the right thing. I would definitely give him a 5 or above. But what do you think about that? Just while we're on that, Pogba.
But you know, though,
3?
If you're talking about a player rating, are you rating them against what you expect from them, or are you giving them an arbitrary, average, below average, better than average rating? Because if you're saying,
I'm giving them a 5 or 6, like Saragon's saying here.
Yeah, so basically you're saying it might have been below average in the scheme of what Pogba's capable of, but in terms of the game overall, he played average enough and decent enough to get a middle of the road score. Is that what you're coming?
Yeah, do you agree with that?
So I would agree. Like three as far as Pogba is concerned, it was a 3 in his performance scale, but it wasn't a bad. No, but as far as his levels, if he's rating himself on what he's capable of, he knows he's got far more in the tank. But his 3 is still up there with a lot of other players being in the 5 or 6 range. So I think if you're rating against,
agree to disagree on this one, Rebel. We love bumping heads. Yeah, we have to do this another time. I disagree with you.
But but I suppose it all depends on what scale you're rating him on, whether it's against the player itself and what he's capable of, or whether it's just as the team performance, how they rate him. But moving on, Bruno Fernandes, I'll hit these a bit quicker. Tried to make things happen, never stopped working, but became wound up and lost his focus. He got a 6. Marcus Rashford.
6 is okay, but wound up and lost his focus. I mean, come on, man. Who writes this?
They're saying virtually anonymous, self-interest sloppy in possession, subbed off at 75 minutes, 3. Sancho, not the night for a creative flair player. Busy, and there were glimpses of what he's capable of. Showed urgency, but faded to the fringes. They gave him a 5. Ronaldo, they gave him a 4. Basically, they said almost anonymous, but in fairness, he was starved of possession. Then substitutes. And I think Rangnick here will have to get a big credit for the substitutions. They gave Wan-Bissaka 6, Telles 7, Matic 7. I'll skip Elanga for the moment.
Oh, I'm excited. I want to hear what they say. Go on.
Jesse Lingard 5. Ralph Rangnick got a 6. And basically the comment that they stated about Rangnick was they gambled with our European future by starting Lindelof in an alien position. But to his credit, his subs worked well. Now, Anthony Elanga, the young man that secured the draw, Manchester United's new star boy stepped off the bench yet again with another stunning strike. What a talent. Rhythm is a dancer.
Elanga.
They gave Anthony Elanga an 8, and on that basis, they also basically made him the man of the match in the Manchester United perspective.
It's not just the goal. Let me just say this: it's not just the goal. It's the ability to make that run. It's the build-up play as well. Not before talking about the goal. There was other times he had the balls past him. You know, Atletico, they're on you like that. His first touch was good. We saw Fred when Harry Maguire played Fred the ball. His first touch came up in the air, and I was thinking, "Are you a pro player or what?" But Elanga killed the ball dead and popped it off. That sort of thing, and intelligence as well, and give and go, that kind of thing. He's a good player, and if he keeps it up with that intelligence at his age, like all the guys are saying in the comments, yeah, he's going to be a very, very good player for us, yeah. And the 8 score, I can't argue with that. The man in the match thing, I can't argue with that. And I would say this, I'm really happy with the score they gave to Matic. I thought Matic came on and proved why, to all the people that say, oh, he's not good enough, he doesn't run this, doesn't do that. He's the sort of player, I keep endorsing him. I'm not going to say I told you so or anything like that, but I love the guy. I think to have control of games like this, especially today, quality, you need that quality on the ball. Fred doesn't give you that, you know, but Matic does. When he came on, I was a bit more, I can breathe again. All my armpits started to dry up because I was sweating. I get really nervous, you know, and he just calmed me down. I think he's a great player. Forget the age, he can still ball. And he's still got a lot of ability. When he came on, it was really good. Just to add as well, last point before I'm waffling now. When he took off, when he brought Matic on, I thought it was going to be for Fred and keep Pogba on. A lot of people were saying Pogba needs these games. But we've done it against Leeds again. You think maybe he's resting for the Atletico when he's done it against Leeds, but now he's done it again. It's a tactical move, and people might have thought that was negative, but it turned out again to be a positive. Matic is a very, very good player and slots in very well as a number 6. He's our best number 6, as in experience and quality on the ball and composure. I'm really happy with him. 7 is well deserved.
I think just actually, as you mentioned, Paul Pogba, the camera did pan to him shortly after he was taken off, and you could see he was frustrated with his performance. He wasn't happy with his performance. So at least, you know, we're seeing a bit of passion from Paul Pogba, and maybe a desire to pick up Manchester United and put them back on the pedestal that they deserve. Now, I was glancing at the comments as we were reading the distinguished scorings of our tabloid media correspondent. Now, I won't mention which paper they were from, but they weren't too impressed on Monday, I think, with the rating systems of this particular publication.
No, well, it causes argument, and maybe it's good to have that sort of rating and a little summary as well, because sometimes, oh my, no, it does cause discussion and debate. So well done, because you're pushing our buttons, and we certainly reacted to those comments for sure.
Now, just to finish up with, we are back tomorrow for a preview show. The people
game
that got our former manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sacked. Watford are coming to town to play Manchester United, and the mission is revenge, and it's best served cold.
Well, they were playing tonight. They got to 1-1 against Palace. I was driving home. I heard they won against Palace. What's the final result?
Scattered the living daylights out of them. 4-1. Yep.
That rings bells. 4-1 Watford. So yeah, can we beat them this weekend? Oh, are we on the up? Yes, I reckon so. We owe them big time, you know. We were at the game. I went to that game at Watford. We go to all the London games for Manchester United, and yeah, it was disgusting. And we even had one of the Watford fans. I had to drive him home, and he was in the back of the car like that. I just remember now thinking, Errol, if I take my hand off the gear stick, it's going to be BAM! You know, he say knock a guy out and say sleep for the rest of the journey, because he wouldn't stop. He gave us hell, and that would be his name's Wasteman Dan. He's a big star with Watford. He's what he does. Got a good channel with them, but bloody hell, I mean, yeah, it was painful. So we owe Watford, and hopefully we get them back this weekend.
And coming up then on Friday, there's a very, very special Friday night takeaway with the King of Cool, Mr. B, and the commentator TalkMU. There's going to be a top 4 forum. Representatives from Paxton Road, the Armory TV, are going to be joining us on the channel. And now, Paxton Rose, those boys, they are feeling their bone rash right now because they did get handled by a certain Mr. Ben Mee during the game today. So their top 4 tails are currently between their legs. But tune in to see the altercation and the banter that ensues Friday night, 10 o'clock.
Can I plug something as well? Guys, if it's Friday night, I have just late now. I've just got a phone call. I've booked someone to sit in the hot seat. It's the Question Quizmaster show, 8:30 Friday night. I've got a guy called Darren. I know him very well. He's actually the chairman of my Sunday League football club. He's going to talk. He doesn't support Man United. The issue is here. We ask 6 questions about football general knowledge and 6 questions on your chosen subject, which is usually your football club. But he supports Barnet. So he said, all right, let's be fair. I'll give him questions on Manchester United because he does love Man United as well. That's probably his second team. And I couldn't think of anything to do with Barnet. What have they done in their career? I don't know. Not much. So even though they're a long-standing team, they've been around for years. But so 8:30, you'll have the quiz show going on for 20 minutes. It's a nice little warm-up for the Friday night show. And I definitely will be tuning in, as Rebel said, to that heated top 4 debate. And you'll be able to meet people like representatives from the Armory TV and Paxton Road as well. It's going to be sizzling hot. I can't wait. Thank you for
don't be surprised if we do see a doctor's note in from Paxton Road because I'm not sure are they going to be feeling well at the moment.
Oh God, yeah, they lost. It was shame. I mean, where are the games in hand? It's looking good for us. Looking good, guys. Looking good.
Yeah, Game in Hand FC they're sinking like the Titanic on Monday.
They always do. They're soft. They're soft like butter. Yeah, let's watch Arsenal tomorrow and watch them lose as well, hopefully. Well, Vicarage Road. We're at home this week. We're at home against Watford.
In the theatre of dreams.
Wow. All right, I'm really hot. It's been a great show. It's been a great day, a great result. Performance, forget that. This is an elite competition. Guys, we're taking them back to Old Trafford and we're giving ourselves a chance here. Final words, Rebel, anything you want to add before we say a sign out?
There's going to be a reckoning, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow's preview. And I'm going to wish you all a good night, and let's just wait for that second leg because it's all to play for.
And guys, everyone in the comments, you've been brilliant again. Welcome, Richard Herbert as well. You're a new addition to the show, even though you're a brother of Anthony. And everyone else, Pat, I'm not going to go through the names, but you were there. Saragon, Av, TalkMU, Mr. B. I can't think of it. There's others. Oh, yeah, of course. How can I forget Mark Edmund? How you doing, man? Gave some great insight as well. You guys don't hold back. And I think it's fair what all your thing, because you always back up what you're saying. So I think what you said tonight was really fair. I'm going to sign out now because I'm going to go and yam some food and smile to myself and maybe go and look back at the highlights again and just savor it and listen to the drought. It's the passion. Whoa. Oh, it's the music.